Welcome to Repairing Lawnmowers for Profit. Now if you've been following the video diary, you'll realise that I've shown you from the very beginning of going to pick up a lawnmower how to do the small repairs and little things and little tips and tricks as we go along. I've been filming a short video diary. Just every time I come in the garage basically I do a video and keep everybody updated, all my subscribers updated with what's been going on. So recently I've made some good sales and met some nice people who've all been very happy with the mowers that they've picked up. Now as the winter months approach, what I plan to do in the winter months is, when you come to sell lawnmowers, there's obviously more profit in them, there's more demand in the summer months. So the best thing you can do as the winter approaches is try and pick yourself up sort of 7 or 8 very good mowers, maybe Honda mowers or things like that, high end that sell for a lot more money, and repair those over the winter, because it may take you a little bit longer if you're a novice at this to work out that type of mower. But if you can pick those up for £30 to £40, you could probably easily make £100 profit, and if you can do 6 or 7 of those over the winter period, that could pay for your holiday next year, as it did for mine. So what I'm going to do this winter, as well as repairing these lawnmowers for profit, I've actually picked up a few recent ones with Briggs and Stratton 35 classic engines in them, which is a very popular model on these petrol lawnmowers that we repair. So what I'm going to do this winter is I'm going to put a new DVD product together, and I'm going to show you how to completely rebuild a Briggs and Stratton 35 classic engine. Now at the other side of my garage that you can't see right now, I actually have a 35 classic Briggs and Stratton engine, which is 3.5 horsepower. I've taken every single piece off that. I'm going to take as many pieces off as I can. There's a few little bits actually I can still take off, including the piston rings, down to the very most detailed part. What I'm going to do over the winter months is record a new DVD video that will be available for sale on how to completely rebuild a Briggs and Stratton 35 classic engine. So I'll quickly show you the parts, and I just thought it'd be nice for you to have a look behind the scenes if you are a subscriber to the channel, and let you know what I'm doing through the winter months, so that you can see little bits and little tips that you might pick up obviously for when the DVD is released, and it will show you how to completely rebuild a 35 classic Briggs and Stratton engine. So you may remember a few videos back I picked this lawnmower that was very untidy from a car boot sale. I think it was about £10, I'm not quite sure, it wasn't very much at all, but what it did have on it was a Briggs and Stratton engine, as that one did. I've taken a lot of parts off that and sold them. In fact, just recently I've earned £30 for the grass box, which is more than I paid. In fact, it's double than I paid for the lawnmower. I've also sold the other parts of it, all the magneto, the petrol tank, the carburettor, and everything else you can think of has already sold. In fact, everything I took off it did sell. But what I have here is a Briggs and Stratton 35 classic engine, which is 3.5 horsepower, which I've taken from this deck. Now if you just get into this business and you've been following the video diary, or you've maybe bought the DVD at repairinglawnmowersforprofit.com, one of the tips that you will need is, really the easiest way to test an engine is just to keep a deck like this one. This is just a spare deck. It's basically got 3 little mounting points on it, which are down there, and you can test any engine on it. It's a lot easier than trying to bench test it in a workshop or in a garage. So that's another little tip for you. But what we have here so far, what I've done is I've taken as many parts as I've had chance to take off this 35 classic. Obviously there's a petrol tank and carburettor. You've got the exhaust guard there, the recoil, the exhaust, and I've got trays of bits here. I've got the obviously the dipstick, the spark plug, every bolt that's come off it, all the governor springs, the links. I have the engine itself with the flywheel. I'll show you how to, when we do the DVD, I'll show you how to remove the flywheel using the flywheel puller. The pistons there, obviously the valve. You can see the valves in there. It's quite a strange engine. They're quite strange, these ones. I've actually got the valves on the inside of the engine block, which is quite unusual really. It's very common on a lawnmower of course, but it's quite an interesting little engine to work on. So I've got the control rod there, all the gears and little bits and everything in here that obviously if you want to rebuild an engine just maybe for fun, or you've got one that you want to do for spares and put back together, this is what I'm going to be doing over the winter months. I'm going to be filming the DVD of how to put this back together. So if you've got a lawnmower that's got anything wrong with it at all basically to do with the engine, I reckon the DVD is going to cover it, because with every part off this, putting it all back together, showing every step of it all the way, it's bound to cover the part for your lawnmower or whichever bit you're trying to work on. So that's what I'm going to be doing over the winter months, because I've noticed just recently that these lawnmowers, if you look online at Briggs and Stratton or a retailer that sells them, these are about £182 to buy. Now if you look on eBay, you can often pick one of these lawnmowers up, as I've said and as I've shown you, for sort of £20–30 with these engines on. But if you can show this engine working, you can make a good profit by selling either this for spares or repairing this and showing it works, or showing a potential customer who wants to buy a lawnmower engine to drop in another deck. So really, I've recently picked up a couple of engines that have been on eBay starting at £1 actually, and obviously no one's bought them apart from myself. There's been a bit of postage involved, so generally I've got them between £6 and £7 postage, so under a tenner for an engine. And I've restored a couple of these recently, and what I've done is I've sold them, and I've generally sold them for around £40 to £50. So a little inside behind the scenes look, if you like, at what my winter project will be. Thanks for watching the videos. Feel free to subscribe or leave a comment.